everybody? Welcome back to another episode of More Than a Title. I'm your host, as usual, Jarrett Thomas, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And you know I got my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO's favorite CEO in the building. Chadeo, what's good, baby?
I'm just happy to be here. You know, today I'm in that cool gray. I got the Ali joint on because I'm feeling like the greatest. I'm ready to pod, baby. I'm ready.
Ready to pod.
Ready to pod.
That's the energy I needed, baby.
You know the motto: if it ain't bright, it ain't right. I'm just trying to lighten up your life, baby.
That's it, man. First of all, man, we got a crazy episode for y'all, man. You know, I'm excited about this episode, but before we get into it, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to the listeners, the followers, the subscribers, man. We're growing and glowing on every platform week over week because of y'all, and we truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, yo. And we also want to say, if you want more exclusive content, like More Than the Title from Black content creators, make sure you download the Live Podcast Network app. Shout out to Angel and the entire team. Shout out to our brothers, executive producers, Real Block Pictures for the new visuals, man. We got more in-person interviews coming to you soon. And with that said, man, let's get into this interview with this brother right here. This brother's a GOAT, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. You know, known widely from his social media handle, The Wade Empire. He's a comedic content creator and influencer from Michigan. He specializes in creating hilarious and relatable workplace skits. In doing this, Wade has amassed over 1.4 million followers on TikTok and over 750,000 on Instagram with no signs of slowing down. Since finding internet fame, this brother's worked with top brands such as McDonald's, Dell, Hilton, BET, to name a few. And his brother hopes his creative talents on social media leads him to doing more professional work in the TV and film industry. Let's introduce our special guest, Terrell Wade, aka the Wade Empire, baby. What up, man?
What up? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Doing good. Yeah, man. You get class in session, period one.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the show, Wade. Long time coming. We appreciate you taking the time to stop by to, grace us with your presence.
Thanks, bro.
Likewise.
Got an icon in the building, baby.
Icon, bro. Yo, do you do a lot of podcasts? I want to ask you because I was looking for it. Do you do a lot of them?
What you say?
Do you do a lot of podcasts?
I don't actually. I need to start doing a little bit more, but I don't normally do podcasts. This is probably like my third one ever.
Oh, see, now we got to get it. You know what I'm saying? This is why you're going to hear it first on More Than a Title. Shout out to the other two podcasts, but we about to have an epic one. You know what I'm saying? So let's start from the top, bro. Let's start about you. First of all, let's start with you. You bring, your growing up in Michigan. Tell us a little bit about that, and then to go into your workplace experience.
Yeah. So I was born in Detroit. Kind of raised in the Detroit suburbs.
Yep.
Was a quiet kid growing up, but I was always kind of like the jokester of the family. So the way that I am now is kind of not a surprise to my family. But I was a regular kid growing up, went to Michigan State University out in Lansing. And that was around the time where Twitter and Facebook and Instagram were coming up and you were kind of being popularized in Vine. And just seeing that and knowing the creativity and the comedic talents that I had inside, I just like, man, that it just clicked. And it was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's the outlet that I want to take my creativity, and end up getting a job in something completely different after graduating. And it took me a while to get to it, but I'm here now as a content creator after so long. So born and raised Michigander.
That's what's up. I know I'm waiting for Chad to jump because we talked to a lot of guests about that going into college. And then they go for a specific trade, they go for a specific degree, and you ain't need nothing for content creation, bro. I'm just waiting for you.
Listen, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to beat a dead horse on it. We've heard it time to time. I was just really curious about the fact that you knew you wanted to be a content creator technically before content creators were a thing. That's what just like right off the back. That's just what kind of caught me with what you just said. When I believe, what is it called? I'm sorry, TikTok. TikTok used to be Divine, correct? Wasn't it Divine before it was TikTok?
Yeah, they rebranded to TikTok.
It was like Musically or something.
Musically,
like
right. Musically.
Yeah. Wasn't it Divine also? Wasn't Divine something else?
I think Vine was something different.
Was it something different? I thought they rebranded it. Okay.
Oh, they completely,
I might be wrong.
I'm not, I wasn't into it at that time, but I thought Divine had rebranded themselves with a different name. But I just say all that to say, there were no content creators, right? Like say you knew it was coming up and you're like, yeah, I want to do that. which is kind of crazy because it was like a world that you had no idea about. You didn't know how to monetize from it. Nobody was in front of you doing it. You didn't have any roadmap to go by. So to just see that right off the back and like, this is what I want to do is kind of revolutionary.
Fact.
Yeah, definitely in the infancy stage of social media back when I was in college. And to bring it up, I actually went into college to be an engineer. I started off as an engineering degree. And after, doing all them classes in calculus 2 and all them random stuff, I didn't like it. But I ended up switching my major 3 years in to a communications major, media and information. So technically my degree kind of falls into a line with what I'm doing now. But when I graduated, I got a job in finance, which is unrelated to my degree. I just kind of took whatever job they threw at me that was a decent adult job.
You got to eat.
I took it. I gotta eat. I gotta eat.
How many times have I said that?
Facts.
How many times have I said that?
That's a fact, though.
And I just want to ask you something really quick, because I'm an engineer major. Engineering is normally a 4 to 5 year program, and it's not a lot of prerequisites that can transfer over. Everything is your major. So when you transferred 3 years in from engineering to communication, how long did it take you to graduate college now? Because I'm pretty sure you have to do a lot more classes to change your major that far over.
I didn't graduate in 4 years. I had to stay an extra year and a half. It was actually a year because I took a bunch of summer classes to kind of
condense
reduce that time. But and it was cheaper. But
not mad at that.
Engineering wasn't my thing. I mean, I could do it. I had no problem with doing it, but I didn't have the passion for it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the passion for it. I didn't have any problems with the classes. I just wasn't interested.
Gotcha. So as you say that, then, bro, walk us through it, because now you're getting a finance job, right? We got to put our big boy pants on. You know what I'm saying? We got to grow up. We in the field now. Then where did you start thinking that I want to insert my comedic, my genius into social media when I'm working in finance? Finance is very regulated, very stringent. You can't even be on social media if you're at a finance company. So like, when did that start, bro?
It started almost immediately, but the issue was I would start it and then I wouldn't keep it going. And then I'd start it and then I wouldn't keep it going. And then, one day I just kind of put my foot down and said, all right, I'm going to start this social media journey and I'm not going to stop. And we'll see where how I can progress if I don't quit. Because I started beforehand, but like I'd make a couple videos or a couple memes, and then I'd get tired, or like I sit on the couch and I'd never post again. I just keep scrolling, and then I started up again a few months later, and then I'd never completed. So it took me about 1.5 years to actually put my foot down and say I'm going to give it 100% of my time and give it my all and not quit and see where it takes me. And
was there a specific thing that triggered that though, bro? Like for me, what triggered it was I hated fucking sales and cold calls. So was there a specific moment that was like, yo, bro, like I got to do this and this is what I'm trying to accomplish out of it? Like, was there a plan with it?
To be honest, there wasn't anything like that, but I think just from seeing other content creators and people around the time blow up and start to, because the term influencer really wasn't a thing back then, but they were influencers. But so just seeing other people doing the things that I felt like I could do while I'm working a 9 to 5, I'm like, man, I could have did that too. Like I have the same type of,
and my joy would be funnier.
They did. In a way.
Real talk.
In a way, but I don't know. It was something that was like burning inside of me. Like, hey man, you got to get this out and not quit after a month. So I don't know. There really wasn't like a specific like point in time.
That's fire.
I'm curious to just ask you, but what was your direction, right? Like just started out comedic, you know what I mean? Some guys do the memes, like reaction videos. Do you have a start point that you actually focused on? Like, where did you say, okay, this is the type of, because you're funny, right? But like, how do you portray your funny to the world is what I'm asking. Like, what kind of lane did you want to start in? Because I'm pretty sure where you started is not kind of where you are in this moment.
No, not at all. When I started, I just wanted to get the ball rolling because I knew that the hardest part was getting the ball rolling to keep going. So I started making memes, and then I would research and see what type of videos or memes are trending at the time, and I would try to emulate that. So if it was 5-second, because Vine was popular then, so if it was 5-second videos, I would try to make a 5-second video. If it was a video with a voiceover or a specific sound or a specific whatever was trending at the time, I tried to hop on the trending stuff to kind of give myself the boost. But I knew that eventually, once I got some sort of base following, and once I kind of got, once I kind of got the pedals going on the bike, and I'm on my own, then I can kind of branch out and do what I feel was funny or what I wanted to do. But I started off with memes. I just tried to get the ball rolling and see what people resonated with, and then I would try to do a little bit more of that and a little bit more of that, and then yada yada yada.
That's dope, bro. Because we also had another influencer. We had another Joel Lodgy, right? We had him on like a couple episodes, bro. And he said he posts 8 times a day, and he was going crazy. He said he had a situation where somebody went viral, got like 10 million views on TikTok, but it was something outside of their niche. So what was your first joint that went viral since you was doing memes? And how did you transition to video?
So when I started, the first thing that went viral for me, and it was weird, was a grammar video. So I made a video discussing the differences between there, and there. And for a lot of people on the internet, it's a hot topic because it's an easy way to make fun of somebody, or you spelled there wrong, or using the wrong there. Yeah. So I described it, and I had a very funny example sentence where I would like use cuss words or something. It's like something way left field that you wouldn't expect. And that was kind of like my base foundation of my followers coming up. So I just kept doing that. I did 2, 2, and 2, your, and I just did it because people liked it. But to my core, I'm not saying I don't like grammar, but I'm not an English major. I don't want to keep doing English, grammar videos. I just did it because people liked it, and I made it funny. I made a grammar video funny, and I thought that was my talent. I could kind of make something so boring funny. So that was my first like real viral type video, and I made those, and then I broadened my concepts a little bit, broadened my creativity, and tried to find something else that was still funny, but also something that the audience liked. And eventually I kind of moved away from the grammar videos, much to some of my audience's dismay. But
fire.
Yeah.
Fire, broski. Thought you gonna add something, Jack? I thought you about to say something.
No. I'm listening to it because at that time, everybody's kind of like loading up on one platform. What was your main platform that you started with? Was it Vine?
No, my main platform was Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram is my all-time favorite platform. Okay. It'll be my favorite platform 20 years from now. Yada yada. But I started.
Okay, my fault.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No. I was just saying the reason that I asked because it came after Facebook. You understand what I'm saying? And Vine, all of these programs have different inception times. So I was just curious to see, like, did you develop your baseline in one first and then transition over and start changing your material? Or did you say, okay, it's working here? Let's say you started Instagram. You did the you, it's working here. And then you didn't even change or repurpose the content. You just moved it over to the next platform and said, let me see if I can kind of duplicate the success. Like, how did that work?
Yeah, that's what I did. So at the time, I actually started around late 2017, early 2018. Mm-hmm. And Instagram was my main platform, the one that I wanted to make work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No disrespect to Facebook, but I didn't look at Facebook at the time as a platform where I could build a following.
Yeah.
It's one you could do now. There's a separate audience for Facebook that I don't think that people should ignore, even though they're a little bit of the older generation, but I get that.
Need all our demographics. We need them.
You never want to put all your eggs in one basket. And I knew that then, but I knew that I had to focus on one platform and then try to branch out to other platforms. And I think by that time, Vine had got axed. Like, Vine was gone. a few years later, a few months later. So I couldn't really do too much with Vine because there was no Vine.
Yeah.
So I utilized Instagram and Twitter. And then I would focus on one platform, take their videos and just post them over there and see if I got the same traction. And sometimes it'll work, sometimes it didn't. But that's the one thing that I knew about coming into this game of being a content creator, that you have to be able to be adaptable and you have to be able to research and find out what works for each platform, because every platform is different, every audience is different, and you have to respect how they work. And I don't know, it was a learning curve. The things that I know now is different than what I did back then.
Message. Real shit, because it's so hard, bro. Like, we doing it now, right? We'll get a clip that'll fly on Instagram and YouTube Shorts, get 4 likes on LinkedIn, and then, you know what I'm saying? And it's how you message it, right? The captions, right? How you position it, what format of the videos, all that stuff that you have to take into account with it, right?
It's a process.
It's a process, bro, and learning that stuff. But once you get it, though, you're dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious now, bro, like just to tell out, because you have a lot of fans and followers, bro. What is your content process, and are you doing it solo? Do you have a team? Like, just walk us through, like, what's a day in the life for you, bro, as far as creating content?
I'm solo dolo. And that, it is not because I want it that way, or I prefer it that way. I have no problem with doing collabs and working with the team. It's easier to do it by myself, because I know what I want to see. I know what angle I want. I know what it's just easier to do it by myself. But in terms of process, as of right now, I have a formula that I'm trying to stick to. I want to make content that's short, right to the point, because people's attention spans, are not the best.
Yeah.
Relatable, easily shareable, and with a hint of funny. So there's 4 pieces of criteria that I try to focus on. It's got to be relatable so that people can share it. It's got to be short with a hint of funny. That's been my formula for the past 2 years, which has helped me grow my platforms to where they are now. And of course, my niche right now is office comedy, office skits. So I still want to do office skits, but I also want to branch out to just more, just funny shit in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, I post what I like to post, what I think is funny, and thankfully I have an audience now that just likes seeing what I post, as opposed to seeing specific types of content. They just want to see me. They just want to see funny stuff from me. You know? And that's just from grinding for the past 4.5 years.
Shit. And like, how many videos do you record a day? Do you batch record? Do you do like 10 videos, 20 videos in a day? At least I know I'm gonna schedule out a content calendar. Or you like me, bro? I'm just winging it. I get up, this is how I feel, this is what's up. I'm posting this. Me and Chad are feeling the vibe. Yo, we going with that. You know what I'm saying?
I started off shooting every day for that day. And then it just wasn't sustainable. There was just too much. I still had to work. There was just too much stuff going on. And if I didn't find the time to shoot that day, then I didn't have anything to post. So over time, I learned that it would probably be in my best interest to shoot more than one piece of content, or like take a day and just shoot like 3 or 4 pieces of content.
Makes sense.
And then post it throughout the week. It kind of came down to planning it out and time management. And a lot of the videos that I post now, I've already shot a few days prior. Or every once in a while, if I have a really good idea, I'll shoot it that same day. It's like, I can't wait. I got to shoot it and then I got to post it.
Yeah.
But I try to batch shoot, and so that it frees up time to do other things. And I like to plan out what I'm going to shoot, like on Sunday or on Monday. I have like a list of just ideas that I kind of want to,
like topics,
accomplish, and then I go about, knock them out, and then I figure out which ones I want to post on which day. And I try to post once a day, at minimum once every day. I'm working on posting a little bit more on TikTok 2 to 3 times a day, but it's tough to post new content every day. So but yeah,
Shit, you ain't never lied. So you ain't got to post 8 times a day like Joe said. Joe told us we got to post 8 times a day. So.
It would be depending on what type of content you post and how many followers you have. It may be beneficial to do. I wouldn't say 8 times, but it may be beneficial to do like 3 or 4, maybe 5 times a day at max. Just in my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking to grow as a content creator, and again, it depends on what you're able to do and your niche, I think you should at least post every day or every other day or some sort of consistent basis. If it's not every day, every other day, just make it consistent so that your audience knows what to expect. Yeah. And the same thing, the algorithm knows what to expect as well.
Yeah.
You should have stayed in engineering just for these fucking algorithms. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I can't hold you, like, learning algorithms. Each one is so completely different. Like, you can literally go to, this should actually be a degree at this point for each one of these social platforms as like how to, because if you think about it, you got marketing, you understand, you got promotion, you understand what I'm saying, you got connect. There is so many aspects, just Facebook. You understand, like, I agree. The meta part, and it's just crazy. I really think that some of these colleges should actually start offering social media degrees, because they offer other degrees as far as like micro selling online, right? Macros and how to create e-commerce business. Those are actually college courses in accredited universities nowadays. So I think that they should actually offer some type of social media class at this point, because it's so prevalent. It's not an option anymore. It's a way of life.
Yeah. I'm surprised that there's not any now.
But that's a good segue though, bro. Would you be all willing to do that? And are you doing that now for brands? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a niche. Because I'm selling LinkedIn courses. Me and Chad, we selling LinkedIn courses. We go to brands and we teach them how to be an employee advocate, right? How can you drive inbound leads? So for you, bro, there's a lot of social media directors out there trying to accomplish a third of what you've done and can't even get to it. So like, are you offering that as a business?
I've thought about it. Excuse me. I'm not currently, no, but I've thought about it. I've definitely thought about it, and I haven't, like, I've always just like pushed it to the back burner when I'm thinking about it. It's like, oh yeah, this is a good idea. And then something else comes to mind, and then I just push it away and never think about it again. But more and more people are bringing it up, and the more and more it comes to the forefront of my mind, the more and more I think about it. And I think maybe for 2024, that might be something that I would be beneficial to do. Absolutely. Or to get, because I'm not saying that I'm an expert whatsoever, but I know what I know, and I know what I've experienced, and maybe what I experience can be helpful to someone else. Because I have a lot of different ways of what's the best way to say this? I feel like with some of those courses, a lot of people talk about the same 4 or 5 things, and the way that I grew my brand and my page, I used a lot of unconventional methods that aren't always talked about. So I think if I incorporate a little bit more of those and weave them into the typical, be consistent and do this and times and yada yada. I think
that could be your shit. Unconventional social media strategy, bro. You got the traffic. You got the traffic like a motherfucker. You make you a little link tree, bro. I'm saying it right now. OTB, Wade Empire. We about to do a course on you. We about to do a course. I got you off camera. I'm telling you, bro. Off camera, I'm gonna tell you the whole process. We got you.
Call it the road less traveled. Why not?
Road less traveled.
Why should you be conventional? Where we're in a day and an age where conventional success is not success. It's unconventional success. So why should you travel the same path?
Message.
That boy pardon.
I think like Jarrett said, I think you have the traffic and
the knowledge.
And when you say that you're not an expert based off of what you said, I listened to you. You said you studied it, right? You said you studied. You said you watched what was trending, what was not. So you've studied it. You've learned it. You've taken the time to learn your craft, right? An expert is just somebody that has a certain level of understanding of their craft. If you're not considered an expert, then shit, who is?
Word. Right. Word.
Shit.
One of those.
You got, what do you got? You said 1.2 million followers, right?
Oh, 1.4. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
But to break 1 million followers, to break 1 million followers and technically not be a celebrity, what do you think that is? That's not by mistake. And then you have 750,000 on another platform, almost to 1 million. So you're showing that not only do you know the process, but you're easily recreating the process. So like I said, if that ain't an expert, shit.
Bro, you have more reach than some major brands.
That's a fact.
You are a major brand, and we have to act and think like it, and we have to incorporate business like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you didn't say the courses, if you don't mind sharing with us, bro, I'm wondering like what other ways do you look to monetize your content? Is it through like regular opportunities? Like is it like creative stuff? Are you selling merch? You know what I'm saying? Like how do you monetize, bro?
So merch is something I've been back and forth on. I started off with merch and I stopped doing it. I'm thinking about doing it again, but I want to do unconventional merch ideas.
Makes sense.
But I want to make sure that I get it right, because like I want to have like my own like alcohol and wine brand.
Nice.
I want to have my own watch brand. You know what I'm saying? I want to do like my own like cologne. It's like something different than just the t-shirts and no disrespect, t-shirts and the hats. Stuff that kind of aligns with my brand, because I wear watches all the time. I post about wine and stuff all the time, and it's just I want to do stuff that kind of is aligned with what I'm interested in and what I think I could sell to people. But as far as monetizing, the majority of the income comes from working with brands. They pay the most. But thankfully, right now we're in a creator boom where TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, they're focused on paying creators now. Even though it's a little chump change, pennies on a dollar, but it's a start. Yeah. And I think in the next couple of years they could really make some strides, and so that more content creators can make more of a living just by posting on their platform. And YouTube has already kind of been doing that. They're kind of king and paying their creators, especially if you have a large following.
We know people making 40, 50, 60,000, bro, off of YouTube alone a month.
Yeah.
Woo! Just thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? If
Instagram and TikTok can kind of get somewhere close to where YouTube pays, and you have a decent following on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, you can really make hella money just from posting things that you like to post and being yourself and working on your own time. And
but
me
and Chad talk about this a lot, bro. And we had this conversation with Haji too, bro. I think a big problem with a lot of, at least for Black creators, and this is why we're on the Live Podcast Network, which is the first Black-owned woman-owned podcast network, right? There's no transparency for Black creators, right? You at a high level, bro. And you know what I'm saying? There's people on our level, like there's people on like 20,000 micro influencers, nano, whatever. And we don't know where to price our work at. How do we price and value our content? So if you can give somebody some insight, can you give us some insight, bro, on how you value your content and what, how do we make sure we get above market dollar for our content?
So it's not an easy question to tell people because everybody wants a certain amount, but you also have to realize that brands only have a certain amount of money allotted for influencers for their promotions or whatever they're trying to, showcase. So if they have like $50,000 and they want 10 influencers to promote this product or promote this or whatever, they have to find a way to get that $50,000 between the 10 influencers that they want. And you can negotiate your prices, but again, it doesn't matter. Like it could be Nike and they only have of course, Nike has a lot of money, but they only have a certain amount allotted for this promotion. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't tell brands what you want, because you got to start somewhere. I would start off by asking the brand. You never want to be the first person to throw out a price ever, right? You want to know what the brand wants to give you first, and then you can go from there.
Message.
That's just what I've learned in my experience. And thankfully, I'm at a point now where I don't have to do that much negotiating, because I have a manager now that handles that.
Fire. But
if it was just me, normally what I would do before I had a manager was I would try to find out. Sometimes this is just what I did. I played stupid sometimes. I would say, hey, I've never done this before. What does something like this typically cost? What do you typically give to people like me for something like this? And then the brand would throw out a number. I'm like, oh, wow, that number is way bigger than what I thought it was going to be. And then you just go from there. If it's lower than that, then I say, hey, this is my price for what they're asking. And if it's not something that you guys can agree on, then maybe you should ask the brand, hey, like for example, if they're paying you to do like 2 TikToks, okay, well, what about just 1 TikTok? What about just 1 Instagram video or Instagram story? You know, maybe just change the deliverables of what they're asking to match the price of what you're looking for. But again, you gotta, there's not like a one size fits all type thing. But I will say, not to ramble on.
Nah, you good, bro.
If there's an opportunity to work with the brand in the future to develop a relationship, I would never want to lose an opportunity to work with the brand because we couldn't come to an agreement on the price. I wouldn't tell the brand that up front, but I would still negotiate, but do the best that you can with negotiating. And I'm not saying take whatever offer they have, but if it's a situation where you know that you may be able to work with them in the future and make that money up in the future, you know, sometimes you just kind of have to bite the bullet initially and do that. But
we're gonna get a bell for you.
Yeah, but in terms of like finding out what actual price,
my fault. We in third period economics. You're breaking it down. We in economics.
You know, what the price is, that's a little bit tougher because I've talked to people that are like, I need to get paid $10,000 for this, and like, you know, I know my worth, and I respect that, I get that, but if nobody is accepting your price, then something's wrong. Like if nobody is accepting your price, then I'm not saying that you're not worth that price, but you have to maybe work your way up to that price. Otherwise, you're not going to get, like, if your price is $10,000 and they're coming to you at $7,000, would you rather have $7,000 or $0? I mean, that's just my mindset at the end of the day. I will still negotiate for the 10. If the best they can do is 7, then
it's tough. Right, and that's where the transparency comes in, right?
Yep. Let's hope
we don't know. Yeah, like, because we don't, if I'm you, I want the 50,000. I don't care about the other 10. I'm just keeping it real. I want the 50,000. This is what I'm pretty sure you look at your analytics, you know what your numbers do, you know what your conversion rates are, you know what's up. You have a loyal audience that does that, and that commands a certain value. You know what I'm saying? So
I respect that. If you feel that that's what you definitely ask for it, but you also have to be aware that sometimes the brand will be like, hell no, that's not what we see. That's not what we gonna pay you.
That is possible.
So we had this conversation the other day with an interview that we had with Kid Flash. Shout out to Kid Flash, man.
Word.
Super smart kid, 25 years old. But it reiterates that conversation really briefly on knowing your worth as an artist. You are still an artist. You're no different from Da Vinci. You understand? You're no different from anybody that creates a piece of art and values their art for what they feel it is, right? And long story short, we had the conversation there about what your market is. Some people want to be the bargain market, where like a hustler, right? We're in the streets, we hustle, buy for the high, sell for the low. Get it off quick, right? Some people don't do that. They're not breaking it down. They selling the whole, and if you could afford it or you don't.
Facts.
So when these companies come to you, it's not a disrespect to you when they say they don't see your value. It's a respect thing to you can say, well, good, you won't see me 100 times, but when you do see me, it's going to be with these elite companies only. So that way, now that drives my value even higher, because you know now I'm not even doing it for under a certain amount, or you can't even get me in this range. So I think it's a very slippery slope that you need to navigate based on what your financial situation is in the moment. And like Jarrett said, look at your analytics and just see if your analytics can support what that price is that you're asking for. You know what I mean? The relationship building is always going to be there. But to that, I just will say, yes, you might have the greatest feeling in the world that a company will work with you again because you negotiate with them, and they won't. You know what I mean?
And
that's always real.
The air, bro.
And that's a great point. And the comment that just popped up
and put it right back.
Yeah,
brought something else to my mind. I also thought about this in a real estate sense of mind. If you have a house that you want to sell and you feel like it's worth $1 million, but every offer that comes to you is like $500,000, what do?
Yeah.
Do you leave it? If the market value for the house is $500,000 and that's all people want to pay for it, I mean, that's kind of that comment that TNT 718 just typed in kind of reminded me of that. It's like it's like the real estate market. If you have a house that you think is worth this amount, but it's actually worth this amount, what do you do? It's like you said, it's a slippery slope, and every situation is different, and you just got to take everything with a grain of salt. It's kind of
that's real, man.
Saying.
Yeah, that's real, bro. And I was gonna ask you too, bro. So when was that one moment? Because we asked everybody, broski, like, what's the one moment for you that you knew was up, that you knew was lit? Somebody hit you up, a celebrity, something happened, bro. What was one of that moments for you that you don't mind sharing with us, bro?
I gotta think about that. Are you thinking more? Are you saying more so? What was that moment where like I had like my biggest viral video where I knew that?
I think he's talking about the mama I made it moment, right, Jared?
Yeah, where you felt like, yo, I've finally arrived. You know what I'm saying? I've arrived, sir.
There wasn't like one specific moment, but it was like a compilation of like really good things that happened consistently over, a short period of time. And again, it was around 2020 when my content started to really blow up. And that's when like my interest peaked even more. I'm like, oh man, I'm really doing this. Because the hard work that I'm putting in is actually
working.
I'm actually getting recognition. This is working. I'm gonna keep doing this. This is nice. So it was around the pandemic time, unfortunately, but I think a lot of people say that too. But I posted a video about iced coffee that went viral, and it was a Dunkin' Donuts coffee thing that I used. Dunkin' saw it, and they reached out to me, and I did a brand deal with Dunkin'. And I think it was because of that video that my managers now reached out because they saw that video. And, I have a pretty good relationship with the folks over at BET, and I think they saw that video too. So it wasn't just the video, but it was after that video, I posted a lot of other content that was consistent with how that video performed. And I think it was the consistency of those videos that brought a lot of eyes to me and my brand and my page. And, since I got all that exposure and all that, everybody looking at me and I lived up to the moment, that really was like a mama I made it type situation. Like, man, I'm really doing this. I'm really doing it.
Shout out to Natasha. Yeah.
Hey, Natasha.
Yo, was that intentional, bro? Was Dunkin' intentional? Or did you have the cup intentionally?
No, well, no, it was. I was going to get a Starbucks one, full disclaimer, but there was no Starbucks locations near where I was at the time. So Dunkin' was the closest location to do the video. So all right, I'm gonna just get a Dunkin' cup, and I just so happened to, and it wasn't purposely. I wasn't purposely trying to show the brand. It was just a Dunkin' cup, and it was making fun of women with iced coffee, how they shake it, around the office all the time, and yada yada yada. And that one was the grammar videos were like my foundation viral videos. But once I stopped doing that iced coffee video was probably my biggest video of like all time. And that was like 2020, 2021, I think.
Yeah, divine time. I'm thinking the same thing, Natasha. Like, what are the odds of you making that video, showing the video, right? Like, you could have placed the camera in any which way where the cup is not visible. And it just happened to happen like that. That's super fire, man.
But let's take it back for a second. What you don't even realize is what you just said plays into what we talked about as far as marketing. Starbucks is 7 times more expensive than Dunkin'. It's a reason that there's not a Starbucks on every corner that you see a Dunkin' on, because the demographic doesn't support an $18 mocha latte cappuccino frap. You understand? That goes exactly to what we just talked about, right? Starbucks is owned by a bunch of wealthy people. It started out in California, and you knew what it was designed for. It was like a wealthy coffee. It's not the everyday coffee. Dunkin' Donuts is what? Start your day on Dunkin'. It's the everyday coffee. It's the
everyday person. Yeah.
So yes, it played out in your favor because technically it was designed to play out in your favor. It's designed to be in almost every hood where, guess what? You're not going to see a Starbucks for some coffee. You can stop right here in Dunkin'.
give me that dunking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked. It was fate.
Yeah. You know,
have it. J
let me
status
ask you a
appears.
quick question too. I want to know when did Wade, the person, the comedian, the meme guy, turn into the Wade Empire? When did that point come where you said no more fun and games, let's talk business, and you actually like laid the foundation for your business? When was that point?
That was around the pandemic time.
Okay.
So because of the stay-at-home order and everybody working from home, work was a hot topic during that time. And I just so happened, so at the time, I didn't really have time to shoot content at home because I didn't have good lighting. I was tired from work. So the best times for me to shoot content was when I had a suit on at work. So I tried to figure out what type of content can I create that made sense for me having a suit. Because I used to make content, but I'd have a suit on. And like, why does he have a suit on? The video has nothing to do with him having a suit on. So I tried to make videos that would make sense for me having a suit. And it came down to work. And because of the pandemic and people working from home and work being a hot topic and me creating work videos, making fun of work, that's kind of what helped transcend my status. And it kind of like, it was like an eye-opening moment, like, whoa, okay, I can just keep this up because the audience resonates with it. It's relatable. It's funny. It makes sense. It's easy for me to do. And I could see the fruits of my labor. So I'm like, I'm not going back to where I was. I'm gonna just keep doing it because, like, again, I knew that I could do this, but now I see it, and I kind of attribute this to, it's a terrible analogy, but I kind of attribute this to LeBron going to Miami and winning his first championship, and him actually seeing what it's like to win the championship. And then he goes back to Cleveland and, he dominates, even though it's still one championship. But that was kind of like my mindset. I'm a big LeBron fan, so my bad.
That was good, ready to go.
But that was me seeing, oh man, I actually put the work in and I can see the results of me grinding. I'm gonna keep going. I ain't stopping. Let's do it.
Fire. So the workplace came from the trendy topic of everybody being in a pandemic and you just going with that, bro. I'm in a suit and I'm gonna just keep going off of topics. What was, like, I'm curious, what was the initial investment that you put up for yourself, bro? Like, what were you using to shoot the stuff with? How were you editing? If you don't mind sharing, like how long it took, like stuff like that.
At the time, I kept everything super simple. I shot with what I had. And at the time, it was just me and my iPhone. So I bought a tripod for the times where I couldn't like host my iPhone on the computer. I would shoot at work too, and I'd be super sneaky at work, but it would just be my iPhone. And I would like to plan. I tried to plan out to a T what I was going to shoot, what I was going to say, the different angles, so that it was a quick process because I was shooting at work. So I didn't want to take too much time. So I kind of made it. I was meticulous and just making it straight to the point. And then I would edit it in an app called InShot. And to this day, I still use InShot. It's my favorite editing app, at least, on mobile. I used to use like Final Cut Pro and Adobe stuff, but I'm more mobile now. I don't carry my laptop with me all the time.
Straight InShot. No CapCut, none of them other ones.
Nope. No, I tried CapCut. Like all of them, they're all cool and they're all kind of similar. But since I started off with InShot a few years ago, I'm like, I know the platform inside out, so I can make magic with this work. So
InShot, if you hear this, get a man a check.
I want to Natasha's commenting a lot, and I want to show her that we're actually paying attention. We are paying attention to you, Natasha. I see this comment that says, you have the purple face crying. I'm just hoping, Lord, please, that you don't look like this. Please don't look like that, Natasha.
Cry.
We good.
Natasha is my publicist.
I know. I just had to mess with her a little bit when she said the purple face crying. As long as you don't look like that when you cry, we all good. You know what I mean? So, but I could definitely understand. We talk about that all the time. Also, there's a lot of different programs that come out that do the same thing, right? I'm a creature of habit. Yeah, I thought she said that's one of her favorite memes. Oh, I like Natasha.
She dope.
We are all like creatures of habit, right? When I lock on to something as far as a program, when I get the niche of it, because all of these programs, technically, again, you need degrees to understand the full magnitude of how to run these things, right? Once you lock on to something, it's like, why change? Yeah, there are updates and there's other programs out, but once you feel comfortable and you've got this program to give you what you need in a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, why upgrade to something that's going to take you 2 hours to figure out? You know what I mean? Stay with what you know.
Message.
Yeah.
That was my mindset with InShot.
Stay with what you know.
I know that there's probably like more advanced apps out there, but like you said, I'm a creature of habit. I know what I need to do on InShot, like right here and there, and it's just easier to do and to manage. So
you know what I thought about too when you said that story too, said you was actually creating the content in the office, right? So what was that like being a content creator in the office, bro? You know what I'm saying? What was that like? And did they support you? What was it like? And what was the moment when you boogied, when you quit, or do you leave your job? Like, can you tell us a little bit about that, bro? Like,
yeah. So at first I was smart about it because I knew that I'm not supposed to be on social media, let alone shooting content at work. So I would try to shoot content either before work, after work, or during lunch. But once I was like, sometimes it just didn't work out that way, right? So whenever there was some downtime, I would, go to the break room or go to an area where there wasn't that many coworkers. And like I said, I would have everything kind of figured out to a T because I knew that I was shooting at work. So I had to get everything done in like 1 or 2 takes. So like I'd walk past the area and kind of plan it out and like put the camera here, like, would this work, would that work? And then I come back like 20 minutes later, like put everything up, look around and be like, ain't nobody over here. All right, click and then do it, and then do what I got to do.
Right.
So I'll be hella sneaky. But what I started off was I blocked everybody at work, so there was no way that they was gonna see any of my content.
This man is smart.
Man, I blocked everybody, but I also knew that if everything worked out in my favor, even though I blocked them, they would probably still see my content anyways.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what happened. I blocked everybody. And I worked with a bunch of older individuals, so they weren't really on social media a lot, which also worked to my favor. But their kids were, and one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, my daughter was scrolling on TikTok one day, and I thought I saw you on TikTok, and yada 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 yada." And I had everybody blocked, but I didn't block their kids or anything like that. But I think it was the iced coffee video or another video. But everybody was supportive, especially because I had a decent amount of following. If I had like 500 followers doing it, it would be a little different because I was just starting out and they didn't see the progression. But there was one time where I posted a video at work about how much of course I hate my job, and HR got wind of it, and I've met with HR a couple times. They so first of all, even though I'm not a good employee online, I was a great employee actually in real life working. So they were kind of shocked that I was portraying a bad worker when I was a good worker, and they thought that I hated my job. I mean, everybody kind of hates their job, but they thought that I really hated my job, and I was posting about it online. When in actuality, I was just like, I was making funny videos with this persona of hating my job. So like, hey, Terrell, do you hate working here? In the back of your mind, you always hate. You don't
like hell yeah, I do, but shit, get out my face.
But yeah,
get out my face.
But like, they were like, well, we see you got 26,000 likes and 26,000 comments though, but that's great. But do you not like working here? So just doing that back and forth, and eventually, like I said, working with brands and finding ways to monetize. At the time, I was making more money with this side job than I was with my 9-to-5.
There you go.
So I was like, hey, if I devote my full time and effort to doing this, imagine how much more money I could make. Because I'm making this amount while working at 9-to-5. how much can I make if I don't have a 9 to 5? So, you know, I told my job deuces, chucked up the deuces, and never looked back. I have no intention of going back.
Message.
Just bet on yourself.
bet on yourself. But it started off as one of those things where, like, I had a passion for it, but I also need to eat. So I still have to do the 9 to 5, and then I'm going to work on my hustle on the side until my side hustle becomes my main job, my main hustle. And thankfully, it worked out for me in that regard. And like I said, I'm not looking back. And they all know it's all jokes. It's nothing personal.
Fire, man. That's what's up, man. And I feel you too, Natasha. I blocked everybody in my company too, man. I'm not.
I mean, yeah, off rip, you gotta block them, but then you slowly unblock them afterwards.
You know, I'm gonna ask you the question: did you make a meme off the POV of going to HR versus you? If you didn't make a meme for that, I'm gonna.
There's no video for that. We
right
going
now.
crazy.
Because you know those POV videos are fire, like POV HR. Do you like your job? Me, no, I love it. I fucking hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, if you didn't make a meme for that, I'm gonna be so disappointed right now because that was fire from you right there. I ain't gonna lie.
I made one, but it wasn't specifically like that. But it was one where HR was like going through your Instagram post about hating your job, and like I had like, so like I would be HR, and I had like a paper full of just Instagram posts of me hating my job, but not that one specifically. But I've definitely touched on that because that's relatable for sure.
That's fine. You gotta do one, bro.
But you know, when we talk about everything is timing, right? But also the path that you took. Because let me just tell you, right? I worked construction for a 9 to 5 for a lot of years, and even though we're union, there's no fucking HR. I'm telling you right now. We're union. Most unions that run construction are union. You're backed by the union, but it's still right to work, hire and fire. So you do that stunt in any other job that doesn't have an HR where you actually have to go through a process to get fired, and you could have actually lost your job on the spot.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So once again, that's not a mistake, right? You just happen to be in the right place with the right space to be able to produce your content. And shit, if you got caught, hey, I could get away with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a blessing, man. I think that shows that everything kind of lined up for you the way it was supposed to, for you to be able to do what you needed to do, man.
But similar, I was gonna say similar to what happened with corporate, bro, and Glassdoor, bro. Shout out to the brand. Y'all dropped the ball, man. So why is HR coming to you instead of the marketing team? The vice president of marketing should have been at your goddamn desk 7 a.m. Like, you got 26,000 likes. We trying to get demos. We trying to sell more product. And they could have offered you a Dunkin' type bag and actually held you more. If they would have did that, you probably still been there. You'd be like, yo, they appreciate me. They value me. I could talk to leadership and that. But they let you walk out the door and you averaging 26,000 likes. What are you doing, marketing?
Actually, before I chucked the deuces, the people that found out before HR told people in marketing. So I was able to do one commercial with my job. And then HR found out about the content that I was doing. And that was when I chucked the deuces. So I was able to, squeeze a little something out of it.
Yeah.
But like you said before, I knew the risk going into it, which is why I was trying to be so meticulous with either coming in early, coming in late, or staying late and doing it during lunch. Or if I had to shoot on the clock, then it was a quick process. And I made sure to not put any other coworkers in it, to not put any of the brand of the company in it. So if someone looked at it, there was no way to trace it back to where I was unless you actually worked with me or you knew that I was there. Which made it a little bit more difficult, but again, I just, that's what I had to do. But yeah, I squeezed a little bit out of marketing at the time.
See, look, now they got the Jordan face. Now they got the Jordan face. Real talk, man. And are you documenting all this stuff too, bro? Because your journey is insane, bro. I ask every content creator here, are you doing that? Like, are you documenting the process it takes to go to create your content? Are you documenting you working with BET behind the scenes or the commercials, stuff like that? Are you doing that so when you get to an even bigger pinnacle in your career, you have that and you can sell that off?
Yeah. What do you mean by documenting?
Like sort of like when I say document, I'm thinking like the Netflix, the Kanye. So the Kanye doc, he had his two friends, you know what I'm saying, that was following him around everywhere. Now you have a manager, you have a publicist, right? Are you documenting when you go into these brands, when you're talking to Duncan, how you're negotiating that so you can have an archive of content talking about business that you can later sell off for entertainment?
I don't have like a video document. I have everything like it's documented in writing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's summarized, and my managers and my publicists have like a list of accomplishments and like a little resume of things that I've done and accomplished so far. But as far as having a team follow me around, I thought about that, but I don't think that I'm big enough yet to warrant doing something like that. I'm stuttering right now.
When are you then? Shit, if you ain't, what the, you got more than some rappers, some celebrities, motherfuckers that's going platinum. When is the mountain, bro?
I mean, I'm team humble. I'm always team humble. I never want to brag because I've been in a situation where I've seen people brag, and like the person sitting next to them has 10 times more followers than they do. So you never really know. And I'm thankful to be on the totem pole. But I feel like I'm on the lower end of the totem pole, but I'm on the totem pole. So I'm appreciative of that. I'm glad that I've made a name for myself and I have the followers that I have. In my mind, when you stack me up with other content creators that have been doing it just as long or maybe longer, they have a little bit more, like they're up here, but I'm like, I'm up here. So I don't want to discredit myself, but again, I never want to brag or sound like I'm bragging about where I'm at, because all of it can go down the drain tomorrow. If if TikTok gets banned, I'm ass out. I'm like, I ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I'm
that's real, bro.
I'm always team humble. Always team humble, man.
I got it. Let me jump in for a second, Jarrett.
Nah, I already know what you're about. I'm like, nigga, you gonna do it or not?
Because I respect what you're doing, brother. And I understand what you think you're saying. I gotta come at you though, and Natasha, right? Stop saying that you're team humble. The definition of humble is not as you're using it. The definition of humble is actually having a lower self-esteem or value for yourself, and you should not have that as a human being. A lot of people use the word humble out of content because they think they've learned it from what somebody else used it out of content. So you continue to use it out of content because you never actually learned what it meant. The definition of humble is not as you're using it. The definition of humble is actually having a lower self-esteem or lowering your value to kind of like showcase that to fit in. That's not what you need to do, right? You didn't work this hard. You didn't go to school, get your education, and be as meticulous as you was to lower your own value. That's being counterproductive right there. You're shooting your own self in the foot. You understand? So don't do that.
And we're gonna celebrate you and give you your flowers,
that's why Jarrett gave you the intro that he gave you, because it's to celebrate you. There's nothing wrong with saying I put in the hard work and let me get my flowers for it, right? The problem is we're just programmed to thinking that if we say, yes, we have accomplished some things and take pride in it, then we're being cocky or we're arrogant. They just use these things to keep you down. But don't do that, bro. You understand what I'm saying? You working hard, bro. And like Jarrett said, you already have a certain amount of followers, right? You don't need to, I don't know what your level is, where you're looking to be, but like Jarrett said, you need to document everything. Jarrett says, everything is content. That's his favorite line. Everything is content. So the same way you just walk around, right? Have somebody with a gimbal and just film you, because what he's referring to is the documentary of getting you an extra stream of revenue, right? Let's say you get to the mountaintop now. You're worth whatever you're worth. Your followers are enormous. Along with the written documentary that you have the video. Now you can talk to Netflix. Now you can talk to Disney and say, listen, give me 10 million for the video portion of the production of this special. And now you got another bag.
Exclusive Audible deal. Shout out to Amazon. We're gonna do the voice joint. We're gonna do the book.
What? You understand? And you create might create another 7 streams of revenue just from that one documentary. That's what he's talking about. So we want to promote you, bro, and we want to help you,
celebrate you, bro.
To give you the best opportunity to keep shining bright and never break you down, right? So never think that you're not good enough, and never and never think that what you're doing should not be celebrated, because that's a defeatist attitude, and we're not having that on More Than the Title, bro. We're not having
Right.
We rocking, bro. You're a king.
I think what I was trying to convey is I never want to sound like I'm bragging. I think that's kind of what I was kind of putting out. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, because there's always going to be somebody better than you. That's kind of what my mindset, or kind of what I was trying to convey. I
dig it. But it goes back to what Jarrett said earlier. Guess what? If you don't brag, or if you don't say anything, right, then when I come in the game and try to follow you, I have no price point. I have no model to follow, because you're not saying anything. You see, you're not saying anything. That's what Jarrett was saying to you earlier, right? It's not about bragging. It's about saying, listen, at the level that I'm at, 1 million followers, this is what I command. It's not bragging. It's saying, this is what I command. You can charge whatever you want, but let me tell you what I'm getting. It's education. Now, if Jarrett has 1 million, he can say, well,
we have a bar.
We have a bar.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody ever sets the bar. This is why content creators and anybody else in the industry keeps going up and down, and there's never no consistency. There's never no bar to get to start to get us paid across the board, because nobody's saying anything.
He said the exact same thing last week, bro. We had Walter Gear on. He's the most influential Black executive in corporate America, bro.
Yep.
That's the award he got. We gave him the flowers, bro. And he did the same thing. Yo, I'm just humble. I just want to see other people eat. And we like, nah, bro. You are the most influential Black executive in corporate America, bro. You know, you had to play the game. You had to make sure your hair was right. You had to throw the kayaks on. Your feet was fucking hurting. You had to go home. You had to, you know what I mean, talk shop in the break room. You had to eat a lot of shit, bro, to get to where you are. And you did it with grace. You did it with style. And you opened the door for the next one. We're going to celebrate the F out of you, bro. You know what I'm saying? As you should. Same thing as you, bro. Like we're doing content right now. We're at a certain level right now where we're growing and expanding. And the workload is insane, bro. And we run a business. So it's like, I could only imagine what it was like doing a 9 to 5 like that, because I was doing the same thing. I was trying to generate leads and deals with that shit. So I started doing my own thing, and it's hard as hell. We doing it on 8 different platforms. So, bro, what you've done is incredible. Not many people will get to that pinnacle. And so celebrate yourself, man. Celebrate that for your family. Bro, this is for generational wealth. This is why we do this show, so we can get that game, man. You just opened up so many doors for your family, bro. Come on, man. We're going to celebrate that shit.
I respect that. I respect that. You're right.
And just remember this, Wade. Your journey started with no direction. But in the time that we are in now, you are the direction, and people like you that create content are the direction for the youth. They're looking to you, for you guys, to show them the way, because now social media is prevalent. There's 100 different apps out. There's 100 different media sites out now, right? But what they don't have is people like you saying, all right, youngster, you coming in. I know when I came in, I had to wing it, but you don't have to wing it. And that's why Jarrett said, about the courses. You can actually teach the courses on this, about how to brand yourself, how to know your net worth, where to start out, and actually educate these people like college, right? So if this is what you want to do with your life, instead of going to school and wasting 4 or 5 years and $100,000 in debt, somebody can teach you how to do it, so that at least you can have the benefit of starting it the right way. You understand? Instead of making a mistake.
Right. Content gonna change so many Black lives, man. Yeah, it's gonna change so many lives, bro. And I would even recommend, because we're trying to do it in the board of ed. We're trying to work in the board of ed where we do social media programs for kids, how to utilize LinkedIn, how to grow your network, how to build relationships and things like that, bro. I could see you doing an after school program, something granted by the state or stuff like that, where you going around doing a tour for these kids, bro. Because you're on TikTok up and down.
LinkedIn is very underutilized and underappreciated.
Oh, it's crazy, but it's a lot of politics now. I'm one of the OGs, bro. Like I was one of the, and I speak to a lot, and everybody who's popping on LinkedIn that you could think of, bro, I'm pretty sure I have a relationship with. And it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like that with you on Instagram and other platforms, right? You know who's moving and shaking because you respect each other's work.
IG's my thing. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, matter of fact, that's a great question. Who are content creators that you're looking up to, bro? Who you see that's doing their thing that, you know, and then you be like, man, I rock with them. Who's some of your close friends that you throw ideas off of and stuff?
There's a lot of them. I typically try to. I'm a big sports guy, but the majority of the content that I consume on social media is like basketball, or just, you know, it's pretty much basketball.
So you talking about Filet and Michi? Yeah, you talking about Lay and Michi? What's up?
So I mean, stuff like that. The content that I create is different than the content that I watch. I want to do more sports content, but it would be I'm going to eventually move into that lane, but I don't want to just completely switch and do it, because, you know, I don't want to put my audience through that initially. But I'm a big fan of Drewski. He doesn't do basketball content, but I'm a big fan of Drewski. I've seen his come up.
It's crazy.
Funny Marco.
Shout out
Me
to
and
Marco.
Funny Marco kind of started around the same time. I remember when Funny Marco had like 90,000 followers, and we were DMing back and forth about, you know, doing share for share and yada 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 stuff like that. So I'm looking up to them. Desi Banks is another guy that's kind of been in the game a long time. That when I started, he was one of my influences when I started. And he's still, you know, killing it and doing things now. Right. And then there's a lot of TikTokers that I don't really know their names specifically, but like I see their videos all the time, and I'm like, man, y'all doing the damn thing. And anytime I see someone grinding and I see that they're making a name for themselves, I'm always applauding them. I'm always because there's room for everybody to eat. Like there's an audience for everybody, and even though we may be in the same niche. Like people can follow two people at the same time. Like if we're like, there's no competition unless you're like completely like stealing videos. But like I'm always rooting for other influencers. But
that was a bar. You spitting bars. I didn't want to stop you at the wrong time, but that was a message. We all can eat, baby.
And the last guy is Supreme Dreams or RDC World. He does like a anime and sports video. He did that LeBron video a long time ago, back in 2018. But Supreme Dreams, Drewski, Desi Banks are like my top three. Like I'm always looking at their content, and Haha Davis because he's from Michigan. But like I'm always looking at their content and like seeing that, like that's my goal. Like that's my. Like we were talking about earlier, for me to say that I've accomplished it, I got to get to their level. I'm looking at them. And once I feel like I got to them, then I'm gonna talk my shit. Okay. So that to your point earlier, that's kind of I think that's probably what I'm doing now, is why I don't brag that much, or I say I'm Team Humble, but because I'm looking at them, it's like I need that. And because I set out to do that, and once I set out to do that, then I feel like I've accomplished it. But I don't want to diminish what I've accomplished so far or the level that I got to right now. So I want to, you know, like you said, I'm living in the moment now. I got to live in the moment. I'm appreciative of what I got. But those 3 or 4 guys are like
make an exclusive announcement on More Than a Title. We doing a sports segment, wage trades. We doing it right now. OTP More Than a Title. We're gonna do it is what it is joint.
Let's do it.
By you bringing those guys up, you know, I got a question for you because you talked to Desi Banks and the Haha Davises, and these guys are really funny, but they've also started the transition, right? Desi Banks does a lot of movies, right? Haha Davis has started doing a lot of movies, and
you do stand up too,
television and stand up, right? So what does that look like for Wade, right? So you started out in memes, right? And then you started out doing the videos, like, so now what's your next transition, right? Would you like to see yourself, once you get a certain amount of subscribers, actually developing your own like sketch comedy show? Or, you know, what is the next stage of the Wade evolution look like?
So my goal, the next step, I always still want to do content. I you know, social media influencer is who I am, and I don't ever want to like throw that away, but I want to transition and doing more TV and film.
Gotcha.
And that's in front of the camera and behind the camera. I have a lot of creative ideas that I haven't really put pen to paper yet. But I think once I kind of get the ball rolling and my foot in the door and kind of get a feel of the TV and film industry, I really want to try my hand at creating like longer pieces of content, movies and skits and stuff like that. And I know, you know, I can still probably do it. I can still do it now because that's kind of what YouTube is for. But I've done a little bit of acting. I've been in a couple commercials with BT and with the one with my job. Been taking acting classes, and I have a lot of casting director friends and people in the industry. And thankfully, the strike just ended, so there's going to be a lot more opportunities that will present themselves to me. But yeah, TV and film I'm a big TV and movie guy, so that's a passion of mine. So I definitely want to jump into that foray and you know, do more TV and film like they are.
Yeah.
And
have you thought of giving Wade like a character sort of like what Corp did? So Corp Bro is Corp Bro, right? He's Ross Pomerantz, right? But he's corporate bro, and he actually invested. He said like $500,000 into his show, bro. He got a full length shows, like 15-minute episodes. I can't think of the name on top of my head. My bad, Corp, bro. That shit is fire. Yeah, Sales are Dope. Sadness.
I watched it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Fire. I loved it, bro. And that's what I'm thinking for you, bro. Like, have you considered that type of content?
That's almost to a T exactly what I want to do.
Okay, got you.
Me and Corp were talking about and
do a
you know,
collab.
it obviously just talk, but yeah, collab, or like if they ever did like a season 2, I would be maybe someone that they would consider doing something like that.
I can see
because
that.
you know I kind of fit in that that niche in that community. But that's specifically what I would love to do, especially to start off, because you know with YouTube I can create content like that, put it on YouTube. That's how Issa Rae kind of got found. She had her own kind of TV show, and Quinta Brunson had her own little thing going on social media, on YouTube, and a producer saw it, executive producer saw it. It's like, hey, let's give her a shot, give her an opportunity. So I mean, I would add them into my list of people I look up to, inspirations, Quinta Brunson and Issa Rae, because I also want to make that transition from social media into TV. And I'm a kind of put a little bit more focus to it in 2024, and actually sit down and take all this, write it down, and find a way to implement it and see where it takes me, and then take a step back and review, research, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then go back to the drawing board and take what I learned and implement it again, and just kind of keep going.
Fire. We're gonna start the group chat after this for sure, because we may be able to help you, bro.
You know, I think you're in a phenomenal place, Wade. I'm just being honest with you, bro. Like, you have the audience to actually perform your trial and error with. Anything you put out, you get an immediate response that you can calculate analytically on what worked and what didn't. I think personally, as a businessman talking to another businessman, I think you should invest in yourself and start the process now. That way you get your kinks out now. That way you develop what you want now. That way, when you have the conversation, it's not, we want you to come on our show as a character. It's now, we want to invest in your show completely. That's a completely different number. Yeah. That's a completely different. No, that's a completely different conversation.
Yeah, that Pat McAfee number different.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah, I don't know if I said it. I don't know if it was a pause. It sounded pause. I didn't like the tone.
I'm tripping all over it. But that's a perfect example of somebody that could have signed for a deal, and then you get this enormous deal because they're not paying for you, the person. They're paying for your entire show itself, and saying, yeah, you have your show, you produce your show, you pay your workers. We're just going to fund your entire show now. Boom. You know what I mean? I think you're in a phenomenal position to do that. And if you do that, I think you'll be able to control more of what you want to bring exclusively. Now you don't have to play games. You don't have to do the dance and say, oh, I want to do this, but I don't really want to play like that. You build it, you tweak it, you get it to a point where they come to you, and then it's like, listen, I'm already moving this. I already got these numbers. If you want to be a part of it, this is my number. Just remember, if you're doing it next year and not this year, and your numbers go up, then remember this:
yesterday's price is not today's price.
You know that.
Legendary. Legendary.
And it's crazy. We had Kid Flash out. His episode dropping next week, bro. 25-year-old kid, bro, does his own animated series, bro. Asked him, he said he wanted to be on Cartoon Network. He said, nah, man, I'm going to create Cartoon Network. And that's the mindset that we have to have, bro, us as Black creators. Like, we don't need their system. You have the infrastructure to create your system.
There's a quote: if there's no seat at the table, build your own table. Right? So I'm just like he said, build your own table.
That's it.
And have people come to you. Right?
You have my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
There it is, baby. There it is.
Build your own table. I love what you want to see.
No, bro. I know we're at 4 o'clock, bro. Do you have any other questions, bro?
Nah, man, I truly enjoyed this interview, man. I learned a lot, man, and I'm happy that you came on, brother. I'm happy that I got a chance to meet you in person, and I just want to tell you personally,
likewise.
You are an inspiration. Don't dim your own light, because we owe it to pay it forward to the next generations that are looking at you, coming behind you to kind of light the way, so that they don't have to, make as many mistakes as we did to get to the top. We shouldn't have to fucking beg to get to the top, bro. Struggle, put in the hard work, yes. Beg, absolutely not. It's the great.
Absolutely. And if you want to end off, broski, would you just give a little bit of advice, bro, for any young Black content creators that's coming up, man? What's one piece of advice you give them, man, that's looking up to you right now?
I'll give them a quick couple pieces of advice if y'all got a second, right?
We got
Number one, if you're looking to be a content creator, like you said, to your point, I'm a big fan of do it right now. Start right now. Now is the best time to be a content creator. If you don't know what you want to put out, just start putting something out to kind of get a consistency going, and then you'll eventually find your way. Post what you want to post. There's an audience for everything. There's an audience for people that like watching cat videos. There's an audience for people that like listening to ASMR sounds and people eating. So never think that what you want to post is irrelevant. I would say start on TikTok, but don't just keep it to TikTok. I would, obviously start on TikTok, but post on Instagram, post on YouTube, post on Facebook, learn the platforms, learn the kinks of the platforms, learn the rules of the platforms. And unfortunately, you have to follow those rules if you really want to be in a position of power and a position of great. You have to follow those rules. Some of the rules are BS. I get it. But if you really want to make this a thing, you have to follow the rules of the platform.
My fault, bro. What are some of those rules? Come on. What are some of the rules?
Yeah, so like with TikTok, like for example, actually with Instagram, they have banned hashtags. It's not really a thing as much now, but like certain hashtags are banned. Like you can't, make a hashtag. At one point in time, the word Beyonce was a banned hashtag because of all the people that will be posting irrelevant content and then tagging Beyonce's hashtag, or like, posting sex or FU or, hashtags. So you just have to play by the rules, meaning learn the content guidelines, learn what you can or can't do on the platform, learn what they like to see. If they have new features, try it out. Be the first to adopt a new feature. They like to promote people that utilize their new feature. So just learn as much as you can about the platform because they're all different. They all have different audiences. Brands all pay differently on each platform. But network and be adaptable. Please be adaptable because what works today is not going to work tomorrow. There may be a new platform tomorrow that is even bigger than TikTok. And you just have to be adaptable, research, and talk to your audience. Talk to your audience. The number one way to have an engaged audience is to engage with your audience. That's it.
Message. Shit. Now the thing, how many comments you get, bro? How long it take you to engage with people?
I mean, it's tough to get to everybody, but if you make a habit of responding to comments, responding to DMs, and your followers know that, hey, if I leave a comment, he may respond, then they're more likely to leave a comment. So it may take an hour to respond to comments if you have the time, or just 5 minutes here and there to respond to it, or a DM or two. But it works out in your favor because now you're building a community, you're building a little bit more of a relationship. And again, you don't have to respond to every single comment because you may get thousands of comments and you just can't. But if you make an effort to respond and engage with the people that are boosting you up, then it helps you out in the long run. They're a little bit more loyal to you.
Message.
Another one, you spitting bars at the end, bro. But yo, broski, just want to tell you, man, thank you again, man, for pulling up, broski. Like I said, for those listening, this is our first time meeting. We met through court, bro. You reached out, bro. You was a man of your word. You came through. You supported us. You posted us. And I just want to say thank you, bro, because we're both fans of your work. I got a lot of people who's in the hood right that's watching this right now that are fans of your work. They was like, man, I can't believe you're doing it, bro. And I appreciate you coming on here sharing game, man, and giving the knowledge and information out. So we appreciate you, bro. And anytime you want to come back, you're here. You got brothers in New York. You come to New York, you holler at us. We got you. Red
New York
carpet.
often. I'm there like every month.
Holler at us, man. We're gonna get more content. We're gonna make sure we turn, do what we do. But much love, bro, and we appreciate you.
Gotcha.
And you know what I'm saying?
We outside.
Much love.
So
we outside.
We outside. Come to New York. We going to a game. We're gonna get some good food, some good drinks. We outside. So we're gonna have a good time.
I'm
ready.
But I appreciate you guys for
man.
reaching out. I like you guys' platform, what you guys are doing. And I hope that you guys rise bigger and better, and that we can continue to do more podcasts and stuff like this. I love what y'all doing. I love seeing two brothers working together, fighting each other.
Appreciate it.
Keep doing your thing, and I'll see you at the top.
Good looks, bro. I'm mad. You don't call me when you're giving the love. You showing us flowers, she gonna fucking call. Don't call me while you giving flowers.
It's always good to give people flowers, man.
Let the people know where they can find you. Wait for anybody that don't know. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on every single social media platform. I got the same username. It's The Wade Empire. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, Threads, whatever you want to call it. I am a content creator. I specialize in office skits. So if you like hating on your job, I'm the perfect guy to look into. And hopefully you'll see me on a TV screen near you in the near future.
There it is.
It is, man. You already know, brother. We're going to holler at you, man. Thank you for another episode More Than Entitled. We out of here, baby.
What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me?